What's going on, Jeromes? Happy Friday before the long 4th of July holiday weekend. Have a lot of fun, but certainly be safe out there because, we don't need any JPP situations going on. Anyway, we're going to do some Q&A. We got 49 questions. I have not previewed any of these, so it could get very interesting. Here we go. Michael Converse. For quite a while, the magic formula for NFL teams seemed to be finding a stud quarterback in the draft and make a Super Bowl push while taking advantage of salary cap savings during the rookie deal. Seeing how wide receivers are now pushing $30 million a year, is it possible that becomes plan B going forward? Aim to get two stud receivers close together in drafts to make Super Bowl push while they're still in the rookie deals. I think you are starting to see that to a degree because you're starting to see teams sort of shy away from paying receivers or letting them leave in free agency. And you're seeing teams hammer and prioritize the wide receiver position in the draft because every single class, it seems like, is the best wide receiver class in recent memory because a lot of the teams playing a lot more spread. They're chucking the ball around a lot more. So there are more good wide receivers to be had. And I think to a degree, sure. But it also... it's only the top tier guys who are getting that sort of money. Like Justin Jefferson will get $30 million per year, and Tyreek Hill, whatever, Cooper Kupp, etc. But there's a reason why, the Niners are playing hardball with Debo, and Debo's really good, but they don't want to give him $24-25 million per year. Same thing with the Steelers and Deontay Johnson, etc. Next up. iMovie King, I think you should definitely bring back the cooking before games deal. I love it. Would you? We're considering it. Producer Nelly and I, we're considering a lot of different things for the season, #content-wise. This is not a promise, but we may live stream during games, just for schnitz and giggles. Just have a watch-along thing, so that could be fun. Also, the cooking stuff should make a comeback, right? Rob E., if you were in charge of succession planning for the Vikings rooster, which 6 current starters would you prioritize replacing over the next 2 drafts? I would hammer receiver, replacing Thielen. They already got Harrison's replacement. They already got Kendrick's replacement. I guess edge rusher. I guess prioritizing stand-up outside linebacker, edge rusher, yes. And then that's really it. I guess we don't have to go 6. Ghost. In the future, do you think we should get Arch Manning? Well, Archie Manning played for the Vikings back in the day. I think it was on the '84 Vikings, the horrible season, just the not, no good, very bad season. I think Archie Manning was the quarterback then. So yeah, ties with the Vikings, sure. And Arch, I mean, the kid's getting all this hype. He hasn't played it down in college football yet. We'll see what happens, but I think that he does have the makeup to be fantastic. Now, will he reach the heights of his uncles? I don't know. Virtue Kendama. Also, here's what bugs me. So everyone and their mom is saying that Arch Manning is going to be the cat's ass. He's going to get a big NIL deal. And I'm afraid, I mean, hype is part of sports, right? It's very easy to get excited, especially about the next big thing. But say Arch Manning turns out to be, a Chris Sims type quarterback. I mean, obviously that would be seen as a failure, right? And Sims, to a degree, had the same pressure because, his pops, Phil Sims, back in the day, won a couple Super Bowls. Well, won one Super Bowl. Jeff Hostetler won the other one. Whatever. But yeah, what if Arch Manning doesn't become the next Peyton Manning or Tom Brady? What if he's just average? Huh? Like what if he takes over at the starter at Texas? What if Quinn Ewers is better than him? Or what if? Well, it's like It's like when Chris Sims was at Texas, Major Applewhite was better. It's the truth, man. Next up, Virtue. What do you think about the Twins this year? They remind me a lot of the Vikings in regards to them not being able to close out games. Yes, that has been frustrating. The bullpen has been booty. I think that the pitching coach is leaving mid-season to go to LSU is just things that make you go, But, I mean, the Twins got bats, but in big boy playoff baseball, you need pitching and you need a good bullpen, and they simply don't have that at this point. Also, I feel like the Twins get more like soul-crushing injuries than most other teams. Like the Twins get football-level injuries, but they're baseball. Like even going back to Maurer with his bilateral weakness, and Morneau with the concussions, and Buxton is getting hurt every other day. Royce Lewis tearing his ACL playing center. Why have that kid playing center field in the first place? It's just stupid. Just stupid, man. But it's frustrating that they're giving away a lot of these games, especially against Cleveland, who appeared to be their only competition this year in the division. But whatever. Nicky Covington. I think they should sign a contract for Irv Smith next offseason because this is year 4, and then sign him because he's the best tight end. I have a terrific season game. So, yeah, Irv is heading into a contract season, second-round pick, year 4. No fifth-year option. So, if he has a big season, he's going to get paid, whether it's here or somewhere else. Devin Martz. Someone said not to draft Dalvin in fantasy. Do you think the shift in offensive philosophy will help him, not only in offensive production, but his health as well? I would draft Dalvin, yeah, especially if it's a PPR, because I'm not buying that he's going to become like a Debo wide back type role, but he will, I think, will be utilized more as a receiver. So, yeah, I mean, Dalvin. Plus, if you can take some of the in-between the tackles runs off of his plate, maybe that keeps him healthier later in games and later in the season. Clint Reesing, question, how rare is it to find a playoff-worthy quarterback? It's tough. It's tough. Like, I would say there's only 8 quarterbacks in the league that you're super stoked to have on your team. Like, the rest of them, and yeah, Kirk Cousins would fall outside of that window where it's just like, okay, we probably can do better, but do you want to risk it? I would put Kirk and Derek Carr and Dak Prescott and Kyler in that mix. Yeah, but I would put Kirk at the head of that mix as well. Robbie, which current and or future draft picks would you be prepared to give up trade for one of the top 3 quarterbacks next year draft? Which current or future draft picks? Wait, I don't understand the question. So we're giving up future draft picks for a top 3 quarterback. So could we just say like 3 future ones and move up from 32, go up to 1, or go up to 3? Sure. Alex, will a new head coach learning on the job cost his games? Will he manage the game better than Zimmer? Last year, for example, Zimmer's ineptitude to manage the last 2 minutes of each half cost us a ton. We've said this before. Offensive-minded coaches, they seem to have an edge when it comes to managing the game, because a lot of managing the game is from the offensive side of the ball, right? So I think that Kevin O'Connell, even though he's never been a head coach before, obviously, he has been a play caller before, going back to Washington, and he was deeply entrenched in the offense with the Rams. And, I mean, O'Connell's not a dummy. Like, this entire time that he was under Jay Gruden, he was with Belichick, he was with the Jets, he was with Sean McVay, he was learning. He was learning, and Sean McVay, respect, is very solid at managing a game. So I think that Kevin O'Connell picked up a thing or two. So I'm sure there will be growing pains, yes, but I don't think it will be as stark as, say, a defensive coach coming in, or position coach coming up to the head job. Brandy Moss. Could you see the Vikings ever bringing back the 2000s, 90s classic jerseys? I think they should. I'm surprised that they don't, because you look at the NBA. My dying, is that you, Rona? You look at the NBA, and they have like 17 different jersey options, and a lot of it is just to move merchandise. So I don't know why. Steel Horse Travels. Ooh, Preacher Paul hauling it for all y'all. Try not to be overhyped about the upcoming season. Still hauling it for all of y'all. Thank you for doing that work, supply chains and whatnot. So with your team, you want to be hyped. Yes, but you actually have a reason this year, because all of the ineptitude from last season, where the whole was less than the sum of its parts, those parts are coming back, and the whole is going to be more this time. It's going to be a big hole. Eric Hansen, as I age, I've developed a love for grilling and smoking meat, just like every other dude. Have you done any smoking? This feels like a trick question. Yeah, we enjoy smoking the meats, as it were. Except I'm not hardcore. Like I don't have a stick burner or a big green egg. I just have a Traeger. And I would say, if you can operate a microwave, you can operate a pellet grill. Absolutely. If you were feeding the Vikings O-line, D-line, what would be on the barbecue platter? 3 meats, 3 sides. Do brisket for sure. We do brisket. We would do pulled pork. I mean, it's a toss-up between ribs, but I would incorporate turkey legs. Turkey legs and turkey wings are fantastic, man. 3 sides. I'll do like grandma's style potato salad. Where so my grandma's German, so it's got a little German influence in there, a little paprika, but eggs, mayo, mustard. Make your own mayo, by the way. Potatoes. There you go. Then other 2 sides, mac and cheese. Got mac and cheese. Plus, you need something fresh, so like a palate cleanser. Now you can do like traditional slaw, but I like tossing some fennel in there. A little bit of diced fennel adds a little different note on it, and there. Oh, and also take the tops of the fennels and chop that up. It gives it a nice anisey flavor. There you go. Owen Sipple. What are your thoughts on the defense with the new offensive head coach? How do you think our defense will play and how overall? Well, it's such an anomaly. The Vikings defense was ass last year. Thank you, especially against the run, but they were second in the league in sacks. Now they can still get after the quarterback, and I think that a change in the scheme up front, shedding some of the dead weight, whether it be Anthony Barr, Michael Pierce, bringing in Jordan Hicks, and also Harrison Phillips, etc. I think that defense is gonna be great. I think that. Especially given that the offense, I believe, is going to open up, it's going to change game script because playing defense when it's an even game or if you're down a couple of scores is way different than if you're up by double digits. Right? So, I mean, the Vikings offense goes out there, they get up by 14 quickly, and then all of a sudden, Ed Donatel, Werewolves of London, they're just bringing the heat from everywhere. Yeah. Next up. A DG. Would you say legalizing the name, image, likeness, NIL was just a decriminalizing of the out buying of players and athletes? Yeah, because here's the whole thing about college sports. Like, everyone knew that the boosters paid players, right? Whether it's Reggie Bush, whether it's SMU from back in the day. I mean, it's not a... Well, here's the one that always got me. It's like, hey... When a staff hires the kid's high school football coach as like an assistant, it was like that wasn't quid pro quo for sure. But I like that the kids are getting their money. It's so with sports again. This is going to come off as hypocritical because I like the kids that are getting their money. Especially I mean if an entity is going to pay you X dollars because of your name, image, and likeness, because you're an athlete, I mean, grab that money, man. Because, I mean, chances are most of these guys aren't going to go pro. Most of these guys aren't going to earn $1 from professional sport. So get it while you can, especially people who aren't playing football, like all the other ancillary sports. If you're able to get some, go get some. But this is going to turn into... like a 5-star recruit will start auctioning off his services to schools, and that's what it'll be. Because instead of just like the hats on selection or letter of intent day, it's going to be the hats and the dollar amount. Oh, Florida State offered $10 million. Oh, Alabama offered $12 million. Blah blah. USC offered $13 million. What are we gonna do? All right, so. I don't know. I feel like it's a balance. Like it's good that players are getting theirs, but also at the end of the day, it sort of turns college football into the G League, which I don't know. Like I don't have an issue with it, especially since it was a not so well kept secret that it was happening anyway. So whatever. Zach Ballas. Thoughts on the last season of Better Call Saul and any predictions for the last half of the season? Is Better Call Saul better than Breaking Bad? Top 10 or 5 favorite shows of all time? So I haven't watched the entirety of the first half of the final season of Better Call Saul. I think it's a great show. I love the allusions to Breaking Bad, but also I think that just the cast. It's phenomenal. Vince Gilligan is a genius. So yeah, my top 5 favorite shows of all time. It sort of vacillates. It does go back and forth, but I would still put Breaking Bad at 1. Yes. Actually, this is recency bias, but I'm actually gonna put Ted Lasso at 1. Ted Lasso is just a great show, man. All right, so Ted Lasso, Breaking Bad 1, 2. Sons of Anarchy 3. I understand that Sons of Anarchy was just a soap opera with a motorcycle gang, but it was a good show. Also, so 30 Rock I enjoyed. So we make Office references all the time, and it's a great show. But it's one of those shows that you just put on in the background, like you aren't actively watching it. Yeah, I feel like it's how a lot of people treat Seinfeld. But also at 5, I'm gonna put For All Mankind. It's the show on Apple TV. It's about what would happen if the Russians landed on the moon first. And it's great. It's a fantastic show. They're in season 3 right now. Go. Also Yellowstone 1883. We're in there too. I'm kind of a basic B when it comes to TV. King of the North. What's your favorite game day meal? We always do chili and cornbread. I like something that you don't have to like actively keep an eye on. So chili's good. Toss in the crock pot. We also like doing a lot of soups. Chicken wild rice is a favorite one. What else here? Like pulled pork, you can do up way ahead of time. Do some roast chicken. It's always good too. Or toss some wings in the air fryer. Yeah, go ahead. LA's Montreal. Do we still have trust in our boy Kellen Mond? Would you have Sluter on our team despite his playoff performance? I think the bloom is off the Sluter rose, so no. I think that Kellen Mond in this new environment is going to succeed. And also, I think that if Kellen Mond was in this year's draft, he would have been the first quarterback taken. So we got that going on first, which is nice. And also, like we said, it's clear that Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell do believe in Kellen Mond. And it goes beyond just words, because words are words are words. Talking about actions or inactions, because at every stage of the draft, they could have drafted a quarterback of their own to replace Kellen Mond as the quarterback of the future. But they didn't. So Kellen Mond's going to be the guy. Wingless 22. If the Vikings do not win a playoff game this year, will the season be a bust? Yes. I think not only should they win the division, they should win a playoff game, and they should make some headway. How long should the new leadership team get to turn this franchise around? 3 years. I would say 3 years. Hadrian S. Andy, I know this is your side gig. What do you primarily do for a living? Finance and finance accessories. Luckily, I wasn't a crypto millionaire, so I got that going on for me. Also, my hopes for the Jeromes cookout are fading. Any updates? We put it out there because we said, where is this? We set a date. It's in August. We'll get the full details. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here we go again. Jeromes meetup, Saturday, August 13th, Muddy Chicken in Burnsville, 1 p.m. They're fantastic. Also, Muddy Chicken, Muddy Cow is great because everything is 2 for 1s. It's good. Also, the wings are fantastic. They have a dry rub, dill pickle dry rub, which, back in my teenage years, there's a lot of dill pickle dry rub. But yeah, their wings are really good. Next up, Kyle Enstrom. Skull from Erie, Pennsylvania. What up? Final stat projections for Justin Jefferson this upcoming season. I'm going to say 140 catches, 1,850 yards, and 17 touchdowns. Whew. Just feels good, man. Skull Vikes 2005. What's one recipe you would recommend to cook? I'm always looking for new things to cook. Love the channel. Skull Vikings. Skull to you. Recommend one thing to cook. I don't know. It depends on what you want to do. Oh, so since it's summer, something that we love is just taking like fresh summer produce and just making like a nice side salad. And this is something that you see all the time, whether it's a tomato salad, whether it's you see this at weddings, like they'll put it on a skewer, but it's that tomato and mozzarella and basil salad, like a caprese salad, right? So I actually like doing it a little bit differently. So I like taking, you either have an heirloom tomato or you have like little grape tomatoes, right? Dice that thing up and salt, pepper, a little good. Actually, nix the pepper. So salt, some really good olive oil, and you get that fresh mozzarella. Like the balls are actually like really soft and stuff, and just like tear it up into the tomatoes. Dice up some basil and a little bit of white vinegar. Now, a lot of places do balsamic vinegar, except I don't like how it makes everything brownish. It makes everything brownish, and then the cheese turns sort of grayish, so it's sort of whatever. But yeah, you hit it with a little bit of white vinegar. You'll be good to go. I mean, just something as simple as that, right? Yeah, go do that. The sports recipe. Also, learn how to roast a fish. Everyone should know how to do that. Who is all involved in the production of your videos? How many people on your team? Is this a full-time job making YouTube vids? Not full-time job. It's a fun side hustle. So producer Ellie is involved mainly on social media. But in terms of production of the videos, like we do the graphics. We write like 4 words what we're going to talk about, and then we just riff. Yeah, it's good times. Praveen Bapep. Thoughts on what Travon's Walker career will end up? I think that he's going to be great. I think that Walker could be, a Chandler Jones type player. Going forward, I think he'll be phenomenal. Also, mind-blowing fact on how KJ Osborne is older than Kustin Jefferson by 2 years. JJ better get paid. Well, yeah, because KJ was at University of Buffalo for 4 or 5 years, and then he grad transferred 1 year to the U, and then he declared. Eric Francis. What is it going to take for the Vikings to make a run in the playoffs? Stay healthy. That's really it. They got the talent. They got the gumption. They have the coaching staff. Then go get it done. DP, since we didn't restructure Dalvin Cook's contract, do you think this is last year with us? I think that it will be a fork in the road. Like we said, generally you restructure players that are going to be on the team in the near future. Because you don't want to just take on dead money for players that aren't going to be around unless you really have to. So Dalvin, I don't know. I think it will be an inflection point because analytics say you don't pay older running backs, especially premium dollar. Plus the Vikings running back room. Could it be a spot where they cut or trade Dalvin and then re-sign Madison? Or are they fine with King Kene and Ty Chandler? Who knows? Patrick Music. If you had to pick, if you had to have a guest co-host your show, who would you pick? Well, B-Rob is the obvious choice, and we've said this before. Amir Smith-Marset, he's hilarious. Study with Matt. 2 questions. Are you a pineapple on pizza person? Yes. And also, people get preachy about like, whoa, pineapple shouldn't be on pizza. Like, who cares? Not your pizza. You don't have to eat it. Not my problem, not my job. Whatever. Who would get more sacks this season, Wanham or Janarius, and why? I actually think Janarius Robinson has a chance to low-key break out. Like, I think Janarius Robinson may have a rotational role. Wanham's going to get his, don't get me wrong. But I think that Janarius' ceiling is a little bit higher. Maybe Janarius comes in and gets, 6.5 sacks as a rotational player. Let's go, man. Melissa Garcia. Will Kirk Cousins really spend the rest of his career as a Viking? I think there's a good chance. I think if Kirk and Kevin O'Connell have this mind meld, which they're capable of, and Kirk extends his career, has another 5-6 seasons left in him, it could all be with the Vikings. Tyler Kanadi. Everson Griffin update. I don't know. He's living his life. Seems like he's in a good place, but football should be the last thing on his mind. And whatever happened to Wabi? I don't know. I don't know. You're just gone one day. Who knows? These questions need answered, so I don't know on both of them. Less than bread. Will you ask Eric Kendricks if he would appear in a future video? Sure, we'll shoot our shot. Jackson Levin. Actually, he probably would. I mean, Kendricks seems like a cool dude. Is the Needle a good nickname? I don't really like it, but I understand it's part of his branding. It's like incorporated in his logo. Even though I obviously love Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer. I can see why, like in a manly sport like football, being nicknamed after an Elton John song. Nah. Mr. Smiles. You get to play against 5 pro poker players. Who do you pick? So just for like experience or trying to win money? Because trying to win money, I would just pick the 5 pros who think that they're winning at 5-10 and not so much. But 5 pros just for experience, I would pick Doyle before he says deuces. Negranu, Phil Ivey. Yeah. Nah. I don't know. Like, I really care about Helmuth. I don't really care about, like, Antonius or any of, like, the GTO guys. That's it. 4-handed game. Done. Finito. I would have loved to play with Chip Reese back in the day. And I actually have played with Barry Greenstein out in LA a couple times in a mixed game. So there you go. Conan Billy Bone. Bradbury at center for real? Going by the past, I just don't see it working out. Well, they're going to give it a shot. Kirk Cousins is your dad. Is Kirk Cousins my dad? Yeesh. Angel Dunce Sr., Andrew Booth Jr., Injury Buster, Hall of Famer, HOF. North on 53 Photography. Where is the Super Bowl this year, and do I need to make my reservations now? It is at Goal Glendale. Jake Winchell, why'd you stop the cooking and workout videos? We didn't really do like workout videos per se. Well, actually we did way back in the day, but I don't know. It just seemed like more of a hassle. That was like record, like lots of people record themselves in the gym. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Nah, it just seems kind of silly. Plus, that's alone time. That's me time. That's, and the cooking videos we stopped just because we're lazy. It's not like we weren't making the food, except I just didn't want to take the time to film making the food and then cutting it up and then narrating. But we're going to change that up because I'm pretty fired up about cooking right now. Tyler Johnson, does it still look like Linval is headed to Minnesota? Maybe. He's working out. He wants to be in the league. Next up, the ceiling and floor for Vikings. Ceiling, Super Bowl, floor, 9-8. KC Wall, steal one offensive defensive player from any team, go. Well, Josh Allen. Well, we'll say non-quarterback. So, Quentin Nelson would be the easy choice, right? Yeah, all right, so I'll just say Quentin Nelson. Although Kyle Pitts would be fun. Quentin Nelson at a position of need. Maybe he can play center. And then defensive player, it's still Aaron Donald. Even though Aaron Donald's up there in age. Or no, it'd be Micah Parsons. Why the hell not? Doug, we just gave Jerry Jones 3 Jerome Bardys. Oh, from back in the day? Nah, not really. Dan Adams, what actually happened with Mike Baby? I don't know. Mike, the Oracle Lewisine opinion. Michael Danielle, who wins the Adrian Peterson versus Le'Veon Bell boxing match? I think they both TKO each other. I think they both land a punch. They're both exhausted by the third round because, again, boxing shape is way different than like in shape. Actually, I think Adrian may have a chance because Le'Veon's been out of the league for a hot second, and Adrian is always in peak physical condition. So, I mean, maybe just cardio-wise, Adrian. Tony Stadler, cities in the metro ranked. So, like, cities and the suburbs. So, all right, so I'm going to disguise this list because I don't want people to know where I live because that's kind of weird. I will go, and I don't live in Burnsville, by the way. That's why I picked it. St. Paul is great. St. Paul is really great. And I do like St. Paul better than Minneapolis. I feel like it's easier to get around. I feel like the ambiance is better. I feel like some of the restaurants are even better, aside some of the higher end steakhouses in Minneapolis. But I will. Maple Grove is really nice because it has everything. Like it's full on like ugly suburbia, but it's a really nice area. Yeah, so I'll actually say Maple Grove 1. And so Woodbury and Apple Valley sort of have that vibe too. Woodbury, a little bit more cake eater-ish, I guess. Well, Eden Prairie has that too. Actually, we're adding too many cities. So we'll do tiers. How about top tier? Maple Grove, Eden Prairie, respect. Woodbury, Apple Valley. Second tier, we'll go Wayzata, Edina, Egan. Just nice areas, nice houses, good school systems, etc. And then we'll do the tier of where you go just to have fun. So St. Paul, St. Louis Park, Bunnies, what up? Hopkins is a hoot. Yeah. Inver Grove Heights because of the King of Diamonds. I mean, what? Anyways, I don't know what we accomplished there. Whatever. Z number prod. Do you love me? Do you love me? Yes. All right. So that's it. That is Jerome's Q&A. A good half hour of hashtag content and just basically just rambling. Thank you for submitting questions. Comment. Do whatever. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? It's Friday. Toss a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull production value.